All right, we are live. Wick Tickler, first comment in the chat. Love to see it. What's up, fam? Let's get it, as Wick Tickler said. Oh boy, I had a sneeze. Maybe not, it went away. That's one of my least favorite feelings. I love sneezing personally, so not a fun feeling when the sneeze just disappears. Thank you for the bless you. I did not end up getting the sneeze in, but well, this morning, not bad. There's actually some good opportunity in pre-market. I just hit AHMA, sold most into that spike and just cut the rest here at like 1450. Had a small position, nothing impressive, nothing to sneeze about, if you will. Actually, that'd be the other way. Nothing to sneeze about, be good. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I couldn't get a whole lot going. I don't know why I just decided to down that entire cup in one swig, but what are you gonna do? No, I just sold the lows too. It's fine. I only had like a quarter, not even a quarter of my size left. But yeah, HMA, this is probably one of my top watches for the day today. It slightly broke out here in pre-market, didn't have a lot of volume. So as long as we can hold up, I do think that this has got some really good room to run. This is probably one of my top watches for today. Another one being SMX. Although, that's not holding up as well as I feel like it should. It's holding up fine, honestly. I feel like it should be like trying to break out more. I think more realistically on SMX, I think I'd like to see a dip to like 55 hold and then a curl around. This is a multi-day breakout at this point. Yeah. Multi-day breakout here. Had a light breakout yesterday, but we're holding up really well, so that's good news. VRAX is our top percent gainer this morning, up 120% roughly. Really impressive strength. I'm not super confident along on this one. It's for the last hour, basically. It's just been trading in this 10-cent range. We had this big blow-off move, and now we're just trading in this range. It's fine. It's nothing special. I don't have a lot of love for it on the long side. It hit $1 in pre-market exactly. I wouldn't be shocked if we tried to break through $1, but these stocks that when they top out at $1 like this, I just don't tend to love them. I prefer them in the 25 to 50 cent range. Maybe 55 up to 75, but this 80 and 90 cent range, now we're so close to $1 that dollar just gets really wonky. So they're not my favorite. One more interesting gapper, there's no news on this. QCLS, it's holding up a lot better than it should be. Stocks with no news generally don't hold up well in pre-market, and this is holding up pretty decent. I'm not going to take a trade on it. I think it's probably more likely to fail, but I would not be shocked to see a swipe to 5 or 550 before that fail, or maybe even higher. It's a little bit higher flow to the stock too. Not really sure what's going on here with it, but something I'm keeping an eye on. I don't expect today to be anything monstrous. Unfortunately, SPY got smacked. The SPY got smoked. And so the trades that I was kind of looking for, that short on silver, kind of already happened now because of that news event. Dropped $1 a share. I could go further, but that news I think just made it quite tough for reference. I don't know exactly what happened to the SPY there. I think there was a news event, but got crushed 385 for 384. Down to 679 basically. What was the news? Was there news? I don't know. Yeah. Not seeing anything. If anyone knows what was going on with the SPY, let me know in the chat. Oh, that's right, Microsoft. I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah. Morning, Bryce. Yesterday I saw a video from 3 years ago, my old talk show. Yeah. Was it small cap recap or was it steady trade treats? Happy Wednesday. Mission to greatness as QCLS, nice structure, volume. Yeah, again, just be careful on QCLS. There's no news, so it doesn't really have a reason to run. The Tui Talk Show. Yeah, okay, the Tui Talk Show. I think that was originally Steady Trade Treats, and we renamed it the Tui Talk Show. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. IXHL, I don't like it. No, too much resistance. Another interesting one is Kapper. It's currently halted for news pending. I would imagine it unhalts at market open. So they released phase 3 data. It's currently halted at $7. The halt resume level right now is showing 36, as in it's going to unhalt at $36. So up roughly 450%. Crazy 37 now. So again, the fact we haven't unhalted yet tells me we're probably just going to unhalt at market open. I mean, insane. It's going to open up $30 a share higher than it is now, or where news pendant halted at. Again, they released positive phase 3 data. What was the exact news was top line results from its phase 3 Hope 3 trial evaluating Deramiocel cell therapy for Duchenne muscular dystrophy met its primary endpoint and secondary cardiac endpoint. Couldn't tell you what that means. Literally no clue. Not even the slightest idea of what that means. But regardless, it is looking, I mean, it's positive phase 3 data, which is just like everything you want and more. If I remember right, someone was pretty big short in this. And here comes QCLS, by the way. That is kind of what I was. Again, it was just holding up oddly well with no volume. I don't like this. Something weird is going on here, but I don't know if that necessarily means it needs to be good. I think out of the gates, again, AMA is failing pretty hard here. SMX, I think worth watching, but again, just not really anything of note yet. I'd like to see some structure on it. I'd love to see a dip and rip. VRAX, I don't really love that. It can change my mind. I hate stocks at that dollar level. Silver, no go for me. Kapper, I think we just got to watch because this is going to be a crazy unhalt. QCLS, worth keeping an eye on, but nothing overly special in my eyes. Just again, there's no news on it. There's no news, at least that I see. Let me double check Twitter. Just a quantum play. No. It looks like maybe they closed a $7 million private placement, but I feel like that was not recent today. Yeah, I don't see any recent news on it. So interesting. There was this short seller on Twitter, and I think they're short CAPR. So I think they're getting blown up right now. I mean, they haven't actually lost anything yet, but they're going to be down a substantial chunk of money. So we got a couple of minutes left, 3 minutes left before market open. Again, probably main focus will be SMX if we can set up properly. I'm not going to chase this one. I'd rather let it set up better. Kapper will be a fun watch. If we can get back over VWAP and hold, that'll be sweet. Just a matter of can we actually get over VWAP. So got to keep an eye on it. Not out of the gates, probably nothing yet. QCLS, pretty hard reject there. Kapper is showing 40. Oh my gosh. 39.50. This is nuts. So this is not anything, by the way, like I don't think most of you guys probably can short this. Shorting phase 3 data is almost never a winning recipe. So be really careful. Just because it's going to go up 400% does not mean it's a short. Positive phase 3 data is normally like really strong news. Now, unfortunately, the move kind of already happened. It could keep running. Phase 3 data can be, if we get a hard dip at any point, it's probably like a dip down to like 25 or 30. Might be worth a buy. But let's where's VWAP at right now? Let's watch how VWAP reacts. We got just a couple of seconds here, 30 seconds before the market opens. So VWAP's currently at 730. Let's watch how far VWAP shoots up. This is going to be nuts. This is going to be crazy. SMX, a little bit of a perk there. All right, Kapper, I just want to watch this for fun to see what happens out of the open here on it. We've got 3 seconds left. Here we are. Oh, it opened at 30. 33. It's just stalled out at 33 bucks right now. Halted up at 35. Oh boy. Oh boy. 35.12 is the halt level. Halted up. 452%. That's crazy. That is craziness. While we would just wait on that for some fun. SMX is starting to go. Halt level on this is 64.65. I don't like buying straight up strength, so again, gonna have to wait on this one, sadly. Ama's going. Ama's at 15.20. We're through VWAP here. SMX. I wish I had the balls to just chase long. I wish I did. QCLS spiking a little bit here. I don't like I don't like, I've mentioned this before. When stocks just spike out of the gates, it makes the trade really tough in my eyes. I find they work a lot better when they can dip and rip and actually trap some shorts. Right now, I just don't think that many shorts are trapped in this. SMX, really big bidder popping up at 62.50. QCLS halt up level is 506. We are pushing into that. New halt level 513. Looks like we're halted up QCLS. SMX. Oh. Sad. Sad. QCLS halted up there. Kapper, that is just craziness. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this for a hold here. Again, a little bit of a dip here and maybe a consolidation would be great. SMX, I just feel like they're not going to make this an easy trade by any means. But good sign. We're starting off with some strength out of the gates here. I don't love it's trading decent volume and it's really not able to move much. So, I mean, that's not. It's to me, just it feels a bit 50-50 right now. Big seller stepped in 62.50. Silver back to highs. VRAX. Not doing a whole lot of anything right now, VRAX. Not doing a whole lot of anything. VRAX breaking lows. A little bit of a fake high daybreak there too. Ever so slightly. Broke out by like 1/10 of a penny. SMX, I hope we can just go sideways here. That'd be cool. You just want to go sideways. VRAX, this pull is holding decently. Oh, SMX. You dirty, dirty dog. Breakout level is basically, we're here. Kapper unhalted at 36, halting up again, 37, 40. SMX halting up as well. Nope, not halting up. Kapper 40. Up 550%, man. That is absurd. That is absurd. Someone is getting so screwed. It's not even funny. I'm looking good. I'm to be completely honest with you, looking quite good. SMX could not hold that spike at all. Could not hold our breakout. VRAX just getting smacked. Getting the good old-fashioned smackdown right there. I don't. Gosh, I just don't know if. I don't know if the buy is 16. It's not bad. I don't think it's a bad attempt. Probably not what I'm going to size largely into. Again, I would like to see a sign of someone getting trapped first. That would be super ideal. Show like a fake dip down to like 1450 and then swipe back up. I'd be much more confident to take size. Right now, I'm not hyper confident in that trade by any means. I'll get about 30 seconds before we unhalt on QCLS. Unhalt is showing around 520. Like I said, I'll probably take a small starter through 16, but we haven't really broken out yet. 16 is a pretty key level, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a failure there. So I just risk that 1450 low. QCLS unhalted, 520s. All right, I took a little bit there, 16 on AMA. Giving it a shot. Again, I'm risking lows. I don't have a lot of size in this. I don't have a ton of conviction, but it is a breakout chart. I've got to give it a shot. I'm also playing with profits from pre-market. Yeah, that's a pretty hard failure so far. We'll see. It's not bad, but I mean, big swipe, a lot of volume, not able to truly run yet. I don't like the bid just came back down under 16. The ask is now back at 16. Yeah, that's not the most fun thing to see. Down to 1530. Yeah, 1450 is my risk level, or roughly 1460. Sadly, I think I'll have to cut here. Not looking phenomenal. Yeah, I just got stopped out. Small loss. Again, like when I'm not heavily convicted in a trade, I really try just to, again, stay small size. It's just to me anyways, not worth getting overly aggressive on a trade that I don't have a lot of conviction in. But I'll always take the attempt if the daily chart is good enough. And I think the daily chart was certainly good enough there. QCLS, let's see if this can hold up. That's a pretty hard rejection there. If AMA recovers, I'm going to be so upset. Although I will say a breakout over 1650, I'd be a little bit more intrigued by. Again, the breakout of the fake breakout and then a fake breakdown. Risk level would basically be the same. I'd have to risk a little bit more, but I would have more conviction, which is always a good thing. Don't make me do it. Again, another good example of why being able to take multiple trades can be quite beneficial. Because sometimes you just get stopped out of your initial trade. That doesn't mean the trade's dead. It doesn't mean the trade's not going to work. Kapper unhalted. Just insane action. Insane action. The level 2 on this is unreal. Unreal level 2. That's just so much volume. Trading millions of shares a minute at this price is crazy. Back over 40. There's probably no trade on this, to be honest. But just fun to watch. For now, I am going to throw up AMA. Because again, we've gone over this concept before, but just as a reminder, the reason being, now that I'd be a little bit more convicted in a breakout on AMA, largely because, again, so we have this fake breakout attempt. Looks like we're trying to halt down on Kapper. Fake breakout attempt right here. So this is our kind of fake high a day break, then straight to a support breakdown. We not only broke our uptrend, but we also broke a relatively key support level there. Now, if we instantly recover through, it, at least in my mind, indicates that shorts probably more likely to be trapped. To me, this is a pretty key level here, right? We're in a key range. This $2 a share range to me is very key. In that, I mean that I think a breakdown under this 1450 low, very bearish. A breakout over this 1650 high, very bullish. We're just kind of in an area of indecision where we haven't really broke out yet. It's a breakout chart, but we haven't actually broken out yet. You could theoretically say that pre-market we broke out ever so slightly. A light breakout in pre-market, which, you know, well, oh, Kapper halted down. Yeah, so we have this like light breakout in pre-market. So you could argue a failed breakout. Especially if we break under this 1450 level, and now we've got a failed breakout on in our whatever I'm trying to say. We got a failed breakout in the pre-market, and we're breaking down the failed breakdown. But if we break out from high a day here, again, now we're setting up much better for the daily chart breakout. And on top of that, we're breaking out of a fake breakout level. So Kapper, on halt level is showing 28. QCLS trying to halt down. That was pretty aggressive. Again, we got a fake breakout here, just kind of through that $5 level. We also ran straight into resistance. And then our highest volume candle is that unhalt, which to me, pretty bearish sign there when your highest volume candle is the high of the day into a major resistance level. Again, there are a lot of reasons that this was not a trade that I was super interested in. But if we go to the daily chart, like we can really see why. So again, I'm always starting off on the daily chart. Daily chart tells so much of the story. So if we go and kind of look at our high volume days here of the last couple of months or whatever, we see this now watch this line I drew. So we've got resistance here, low of day there, and our close price here, 1525 roughly. Up or rather 520. And now if I come back and bring it to the intraday, take a look at where that line lines up. Oh, the line didn't show up. Well, here's that line. It was 520. Right? So a fake breakout through that pretty key resistance level and our highest volume candle of the day. To me, just not something that I want to be a part of on the long side. Now, if we break and hold over that, that's where things can get interesting. But we just haven't proven that quite yet. SMX, nothing of note yet. Kapper unhalt is showing 20. Whoa! Can you imagine it unhalts at $20? That would be crazy. I don't think that's a trade I just don't know enough about. I know I said I like a dip to like 25, but with a halt down that opens down 50%, I don't know. And I don't want to be a part of something like that. All right, AMA, we're holding better than we should be. 1650, I'm going to take another attempt with a risk on that low. More convicted in this one. So again, guys, I cannot emphasize enough, position sizing matters a lot, right? That first loss was small. I wasn't really sweating over it. So now I'm able to take a bigger position size with more conviction. So even though the risk level is now technically a little bit wider, now I'm risking $2 a share, I'm more convicted in the trade at this point. So again, conviction for me is a large part of why I'm willing to risk more, or why I'm not willing to risk more in a trade. So remember, like, it's just something important to note for your own trades. The more convicted you are, generally speaking, and again, you're not going to know what you're convicted in until you've got some consistency under your belt. So if you're still newer to trading, like, oh, VRAX, mean. That's just mean. They were not letting shorts have the time of day, or longs rather. Also interesting on, again, remember, we talk about this a lot. We talk about this a ton. Well, actually, hold on. Let me first just, I want a Kapper is unhalting here in like 20 seconds. It's showing 24 unhalt. That would be insane. I've got a stop order on AMA through high a day, so I should just get filled if we break out. Double halt. QCLS holding up slightly better than expected. Trading good volume too. We're just kind of forming a little bit of a head and shoulders, I'd say. We got shoulder, head, shoulder right here. So let me go back to AMA really quick. Speaking of head and shoulders, this is a concept I wanted to go over here. We've also got a head and shoulders on AMA. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Head and shoulder, generally a bearish pattern, right? So we've got two bearish signs lining up for us right now. We've got a head and shoulders intraday and a fake high at daybreak on what could end up being a bullish daily chart. And so one thing that I always teach is that one of the best long setups is a failed short setup. And in this case, we would then have two failed short setups for this trade if we break high a day here. Two failed short setups on a bigger picture, it looks like it wants to turn into a breakout. So that could be a really strong sign for a bull case. Again, but like leading into that trade, we didn't quite have that level of confirmation. All we had was an intraday high day breakout. Does that make sense? Right? Two bearish signs on the intraday with a potential pretty strong bull sign on the daily chart. So if we fail that bearish action, what ends up happening is you just get more shorts loaded into that trade. So I'll be looking for an entry now with more size through 1650. Risk on 1450, or really I probably should just do a low a day. All right. I just got filled 1652. If I get stopped out of this attempt, that's not a really great sign. Again, no such thing as 100% win rate, but this I am a little bit more convicted in. So I got filled there 1652. I'm risking down to 1450. Or what's low a day? 35. Might as well just risk the extra 15 cents. But if we get under that 1450, yeah, 1450 is my risk. I think I'll get a little bit less slippage. Come on. Again, wide risk. So big size is it's still $2 a share worth of risk. So like it's still, relatively speaking, small size. But I would expect if this trade works, I would expect to see 20 bucks on it at least. So at least a 2-to-1 is what I'd be looking for if we can break out over that 1750 level, which again is our multi-day breakout level. It's a third day surge day at 1730. But so it makes sense. We haven't actually broken out yet, but I don't love just buying the straight up breakout of really any trade. I like buying breakouts before the breakout. It gets me a better average, allows me to get a little bit more size. Feels like I'm not chasing quite as much. But with that comes a little bit less confirmation. But I like to be able to ride the breakout and see, because worst case, if we stuff the breakout level really hard, perhaps I can sell for break even. Perhaps I can sell for a small win. As long as the confirmation signs line up. But that's kind of my thought process on it. Again, I'm just walking through my thoughts as the trade tries to play out here. If I take 2 losses on AHMA, again, if I get stopped out here again, there we go. Come on, Amma. Come on, Amma. You can do it. You can do it. I'd love to be able to sell my first bit kind of into that breakout level. Well, this is the breakout level, but like I'd take like a 1-to-1 scalp into the first push into like pre-market highs here, like 1740. Small size. Just lock a little bit in. We're grinding up into it. Or, I mean, we're getting pretty aggressive pullbacks. The spread is just wide. Just a wide spread stock. I mean, it's like 17 by 1650. So that's unfortunately part of the game you play with some of these. Sorry, by the way, I haven't looked at the chat at all yet. I'm just kind of trying to stay focused here on this AHMA. Come on. Don't fail. Don't fail. You don't want to fail. You had too much to live for. You had too much going for you to want to fail. You don't want to fail. I think if we give up 16, like again, I'm not stopping out under 16, but if we give up 16, it's a pretty weak attempt there. Just have a lot of lines drawn on the chart here. Yeah. Come on. Don't do it. Yeah, we're giving up 16 bucks. That is unfortunate. That is... Oh. That sucks. Again, not stopped out yet, but I don't love that. I feel like we really should... I mean, we literally just kind of tapped the breakout level there, 1730. I literally tapped the breakout level and just couldn't do it quite yet. Also, I mean, notably much lower volume today than our breakout day. Very high volume candles up here compared to what we are trading at today. So again, just something to keep in mind, but this this ain't feeling the best. If I get stopped out here, that's probably my last attempt on the trade. What was I just seeing pop up on Scanner? How's SMX looking, by the way? Fine. VRAX, I think it's time to get rid of that one. QCLS, time to get rid of that one. Silver, that actually kind of worked. Time to get rid of that one. Are we going to triple halt on Kapper? It is a triple halt. Wow. I saw devs popping up on Scan. What was that doing? Oh, you You are just an unfortunate turd of a stock, aren't you? Sadly, I think this one's a loss. Part of trading. You can't avoid them. I haven't stopped out yet, although the halt level is at 1454. So if we start giving back up through there, I probably will cut slightly before that, just because I don't want to get caught in a halt trying to get out of this position. I think at this point, a breakdown of that 1470 low, and I am going to be out of the trade. 1470 on the dot, actually. So I'm going to move my stop just because I don't want to be caught in a halt. But again, I've not stopped out yet. We're bouncing. We're back up $1 a share, actually. I cannot believe Kapper. Whoa, Dubs, what was that? News pending halt, it looks like. Kapper, quadruple halt. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, this is your time to shine, I think. If you're gonna do it, you might as well just do it here, you know? You might as well just do it here. That'd be a crazy short trap. I'm leaning. One second. Do you want to do it? Come on. Go back up. That'd be the craziest recovery. I'm definitely leaning a bit more like bearish on this now. That's a pretty hard failure of the breakout. But again, part of this is just that the spread is 50 cents a share. Like, that's half the battle here, is just the spread. SMX grinding up. Well, right now it's just a patience game. Just kind of wait and see how we can set up. I will say this, at this point, it's kind of proving that buying strength is not the right idea on this anymore. So I think if this trade does start to work, first of all, again, I would like to be piecing out into strength first and foremost. Second of all, if I'm going to be adding to this position, it's got to be on dips. It really has to be on dips if this trade starts to work. We're back over VWAP, and that's a good start. But again, I'm ready. I'm fully prepared for a stop out on this. Make sure that you guys are properly positioned in. So if you get stopped out, it's not the end of the world. Or if we just skyrocket, that'd be great too. But like I want to remind you guys that like it was a really hard pullback. And I know there was a version of me once upon a time as a trader that would have just sold there before it hit my risk level because it's a big drop. So make sure that whenever you're positioned into a trade that you are fully ready to accept whatever loss comes your way. That is like rule number one of trading, like hands down, bar none. One of the most important trading rules, guys, is just that's our job as a trader, is to accept the risk that we take. And, you know, I think a lot of traders don't necessarily accept that risk. They think they accept it when they take the trade, and then the trade starts working against them, and they have to they cut early. And a trader that cut early there, I mean, I'm back to basically break even now, but like still not winning. But that would have sucked to take a loss literally 20 cents above my stop out just for the trade to start working later, and then you get. I'm sure you guys know the feeling. You stop out of the trade before your actual stop loss just to get back in at highs, then it dumps on you again. It's a really frustrating cycle. So every time I go into a trade, I literally tell myself in my mind, how much money am I going to lose if this doesn't work? Can I accept that loss? And we're going to get into talk about TradeFunder here in just a second, but that's like one of the really cool beauties of using something like TradeFunder, right? Where if you're we go over this example just about every day. If you're not yet consistent, you're still working on consistency, but you want to become a profitable trader. I've been using the example of risking like $10 a trade for a new trader. Well, if you risked $10 on the first attempt on Amat, and then you get back in and risk another $10 and you take 5 shares, right? Guess what? It's $20 if you don't win that you lost. If you lost 2 trades in a row, it's $20. Like, I hope a trader can accept that type of risk. However, if you're not yet consistent, you're not yet profitable, and you're like, I'm going to buy 1,000 shares. Well, now you have to accept a $2,000 stop out. And that is pretty freaking scary. Kapper unhalted at 27, 26 bucks, 27 bucks. Pretty crazy. Again, I don't really know what to do with this anymore. I'm going to get rid of Kapper just because, again, I literally don't know how to trade that at this point. Phase 3 news, biotechs like that, not something I specialize in. Although I know some traders who really do specialize in that. That's like a big area of specialty for them. There is probably a lot of edge in the rare times a company does release phase 3 news, I will say, because it happens so infrequently. I was listening to, I think it was in Market Wizards. By the way, I get asked all the time, Bryce, what trading books would you recommend? I don't really read, if you can't tell. I don't really read much, but I do like listening to some audiobooks. And I definitely don't love a lot of trading books, but I will say I think one of the best trading books out there is Market Wizards. It's a really good time to listen to on an audiobook. I would highly encourage everyone here to listen to it or read it, actually. But anyways, I was reading Market Wizards, and basically something kind of eye-opening was that, a lot of biotech stocks, they don't actually make it to phase 3 data. So it's very rare when it does happen. And the reason for that is because normally they get bought out before that news. They get bought out by a way bigger firm, a way bigger biotech company before that news actually drops, right? If they're that good of a company, they're probably just getting bought out. So when something like this happens and you actually get positive phase 3 news, it's really rare. It's just a very rare scenario. So I thought that was interesting. And that's why I think there probably is really good edge in understanding how to trade them, because it can really turn into like an A+ setup for somebody that knows what is likely to happen during phase 3 news releases. So anyways, I'm just blabbing on about a bunch of stuff today. Yeah, The Best Loser Wins. That's another great book. I haven't finished it yet. Matt Monaco actually gave that one to me. Actually gave me that book. Let me borrow it. I haven't finished it yet, but I've heard it's phenomenal. Oh. Well, ladies and gents, I don't have a whole lot else to go over right now. I'm just sitting patiently in AMA. We'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't break risk, but I'm prepared for it if it does. Still not going to be too upset. It's a really choppy stock right now. It's just not an easy trade at this point. So not gonna look too much into anything like that right now. But I will say, guys, I do want to shout out TradeFunder. They're the reason that I'm here today. And on a day like today, I'll be honest, like I don't see anything that's A+ really anywhere across the board. AMA could turn A+ if we actually break out and hold over 1750, but right now there's nothing that is truly A+, at least for me, yet. So I'm going to just kind of probably sit on my hands, try to stay as patient as I can here for the next, probably next hour or so. I've been up for a while. I like to get up early, get my steps in. I actually just ordered a new walking, like one of those walking pads or whatever under the desk. Is SMX going? Ooh, oh God, SMX, like it's just walking up. It's so hard to buy that. Like there was really never an easy. There was an okay little breakout here at like 64. It just was not. It's not an easy trade, which is a bummer. Again, maybe a possibility to buy this dip here at like 65, but like it runs up $4 a share just to pull back $4 a share in one candle. That to me is not easy. It's not one that I've got a boatload of conviction in either. Although it is officially over the breakout. It would just have to be a very small size play for me. If we break out over 69, I don't hate the attempt. Again, it's got to be small size. It's gotta be small size because the risk is just so wide on it. But I mean, that would be a breakout of the fake breakout. Fake breakout being like 68.90. We break out by a couple of pennies, slam, and then instantly recover. It's probably not the worst attempts to try, but the risk is incredibly wide. You got to risk $10 a share. Do I expect this to go to 100? I just don't know if we do 100 today. And to me, then I don't know if the risk reward is really worth it anymore. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm probably not going to take it unless we can establish a better risk level. Even at like 64 would be better, but nothing yet. So again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shout out TradeFunder real quick here because they're the reason that I'm here with you today. And I can't emphasize enough in my opinion, the need to be able to take multiple trades in a market like this. The truth is not every trade works the first time. Sometimes trades don't work the second time either. I normally have a 3 strikes and you're out rule. On something like AMA, I've got a 2 strikes and I'm out rule because then the idea to me is just kind of clearly failed. But in a market where there is so much action, there is so much movement, and there are so many different stocks that are trading, being bound by that PDT rule, if you're under a 25K account, it can just take away from so much of the opportunity, right? Again, I'm no statistician, but I do know this. The market is a game of probabilities, and probabilities, even if you've got a 99% win rate, which is like unheard of, but even if you do, that all it takes is that one loss. If you're only able to take 3 trades a week, you're really not able to take advantage of the true like frequency of what you would need to truly be profitable. This is why I do think TradeFunder is a really great option. Again, for those of you guys, this is a day trading account. It's not swing trading. So if you're a swing trader, probably not the best solution for you. If you're just trying to hit home runs, also probably not the best solution for you. TradeFunder does make you be consistent. They want you to be consistent. They're looking for traders who want consistency because this is also a business for TradeFunder. They take an 80-20 profit split, meaning they take 20%. One of the best prop firm profit splits in the industry. Most prop firms are like a 60-40 or a 70-30 split. So TradeFunder at an 80-20, I think, is one of the best you're going to find. They've got great risk management rules. And more importantly, because of the partnership here with Stocks to Trade, by By the way, I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat because the partnership with Stocks to Trade, normally if you wanted to get access to this $25,000 account, it would run you $1,400 plus a $99 platform fee. Thanks to this partnership, I was trying to work. That's crazy. That would be the nuttiest recovery. Thanks to this partnership with Stocks Trade, it drops that down from a $1,400 plus the $99 platform fee down to a $800 plus the $99 platform fee. So really awesome option for those of you guys who are really kind of just getting started here. Again, I understand if you're not yet consistent, you're not yet profitable. I would not want you going out there and risking the farm on any trade, on any setup. So with TradeFunder, you're able to trade as freely as you would like, and that means you don't need to take massive position sizes, right? Learn how to do this being consistent. Learn how to be a consistent trader to start. So for example, one way that I would personally do this, I say this every day, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this is for those of you guys who are still working on that consistency variable. Right? Still trying to get consistent in your trading. I'd be just taking small position sizes, maybe risking like $10 a trade to learn how to do this the right way. And then from there, going out and trying to take bigger trades as you prove with your own data that you can indeed be a profitable trader. That's how I would do it. Because here's the truth. TradeFunder understands that, let's say you put $800 into the account. If you lost that $800, they're not going to shut off your account right then and there because that's not that much money to lose. TradeFunder is very realistic. So they're giving you an additional roughly $3,000 of their money to lose before they shut off that account, which honestly, I think is incredibly fair given the fact that they're giving you 25 grand to trade with. So you're going to get $3,750 of max drawdown before they actually shut off that account. For $800, I mean, you're not going to find a better risk reward scenario really anywhere. Again, I highly encourage you to click the link. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the perfect solution for everybody. I think that'd be silly. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect solution anywhere in the markets. But I will tell you this. I think it's a great solution for those of you guys who are here right now that are trying to work on getting consistent, trying to work on profitability, or for those of you guys that are trading with a small account right now and you're already consistent, but your small account is holding you back. Right. I also like what Jimmy Lumpkin says. You know, he says TradeFunder is akin to paper trading, not your own dollar risk. I agree. So TradeFunder, by the way, it's real money. And by the way, there are no evaluations ever with TradeFunder. When you sign up, you're starting to trade with real money. That being said, you have this unemotional aspect to it. This is what I found for a long time as a trader was really hard to get over. And I'm past that now, fortunately, but it was really tough for me to get to a spot where I didn't view my money as my money, like my account size, right? Like every time I took a loss, it felt like I was actually losing that money. And like you are actually losing that money. But there's this weird flip you need to make mentally as a trader where you say, okay, because here's the thing, right? When your rent is $2,000 a month, your mortgage is $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and then you lose $3 grand on a trade, you can't look at it and say, well, I just lost my mortgage today, right? And by the way, you shouldn't be losing $3,000 if you're not yet consistent or profitable. But like when you get to that spot, you can't look at it that way because that's not how it is. It's ideally, you've already proven a consistent track record if you're losing that much money. You've already proven profitability and consistency. And you say, well, I lost on a trade that I planned to lose that much money on. Hopefully I'll make $6,000 to $7,000 on the next trade, kind of thing. And so anyways, using TradeFunder, this is a way where you can put in your $800, but you're getting 25 grand worth of money to trade with. So in a way, it feels like you get to take this emotional detachment from your money, which I've found to be super beneficial for a lot of traders. And I think it probably could be for you too. So anyways, guys, that's what I've got today. I've got just a couple of minutes before I got to hop over to my next webinar. So what I want you guys to do before I get hopping off here is click on that link, see if this is a good fit for you. And if it is, make sure, here, I'll drop that link one more time. I also like what Jimmy said here. It's a blessing for day traders. PDT rule will put FOMO up the yin yang, best mind relaxer I've found. Yeah, 100%. that's the last thing I'll really say is like, I remember I'm going back like through I go down through memory lane every time I kind of talk about my history as a trader, but I remember trading with like a $2,000 or $3,000 account, and you have like this weird paradox where like you can only make 3-day trades a week. So then you feel FOMO if you miss the one good trade, sometimes ignoring the fact that there are multiple good trades throughout the week. And it's like, when you miss a trade, you feel FOMO. So then you take a trade out of FOMO that doesn't work, and then you have even more FOMO. It sucks. The PDT rule, I get it. And they are talking about getting rid of it. Probably sometime next year. If I had to anticipate, we're probably still like 6 months away. But even then, like, trading with a small account also sucks. Like, yeah. Anyways, I got to get hopping off here. Get ready for my next webinar. I need some coffee. Is what I really need. Which unfortunately I'm out of my espresso, which is kind of a bummer. But go ahead, click on that link, guys. On a day like today where there are a lot of opportunities, and maybe they're not A+ yet. I think we'll probably start getting some A+ opportunities here. SMX honestly just set up a much better risk level. I'll be looking to take that now through $69. But again, taking a loss on one trade and then still being able to take another trade after that loss is really important. It comes down to a game of frequency, and being able to have that frequency, super important. So guys, click that link, check it out, see if it's a good fit for you. And listen, I'm not going to say it's perfect for everyone here, but if you have any questions about TradeFunder, I would highly encourage you to click that link, or rather click the link and then go down to the bottom of the page and email support@tradefunder.com. If you have any remaining questions, they'll reach out back to you in like literally minutes. See if they can answer any of your other questions that you still got. But guys, just like that, I do have to get hopping off. So I hope you guys are all having a great day. Take it easy, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace, everyone.